Mental health, it's not nothing. Hello and welcome. This is Pragati Singh, and you're watching Medically Speaking Musics. A study published in Lancet on Friday found that COVID pandemic led to a surge in anxiety and major depressive disorders across the world, specifically in women and young people, many of whom gave up on their life under its effect. But this was just the projection of the age long stigma surrounding the topic. To discuss the same, I have Dr. Akanksha Batra, clinical psychologist at the Medanta Institute of Neurosciences. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
The aftermath of the pandemic can be seen in various sectors of human life, but as a result of almost a year long quarantine, people tend to cut themselves off their social life. What steps do they take if they feel like doing so?
Right. So we need to understand that everybody needs social connection to survive, right? And a lot of times in lockdown or in this pandemic, we've seen ourselves, spending more time alone and liking it also. But we also need to understand that loneliness or social isolation is associated with a lot of risk factors to other health conditions as well. So we call it as heart disease or depression or even cognitive decline. So a lot of times we need to understand that we as social animals, we need to socialize more. We need to talk out things. We need to discuss about our problems or even just to share some activities. So a lot of times we isolate ourselves from not wanting to go out or making that effort to meet people. Or this pandemic has actually led us to understand that isolation is good, or being at home is more comfortable, not leaving our comfort zone. So if we are isolated from the environment around us, there are more risk factors for other health conditions and even mental health conditions. So what we can do is we can find out any activity that we enjoy, or restart any old hobby, or learn something new. We can also, if you're living alone, we can also schedule a time each day to stay connected with our friends or family or neighbors, or email people, or be on social media with people, connect through video calls, video chats, or maybe considering we can adopt a pet maybe, or take them out for walks, right? Then being physically active, going out for walks, meeting people out there, uh, introduce yourself to your new neighbors, or maybe go out for temples or wherever you find faith, right? Go out and meet people there. Also stay connected with your office mates if you're working online, right? Not just on the basis of your work schedules, but even after that, try to meet up with them, try to have video calls with them, try to engage in those, or join some clubs, join some yoga activities, or small courses that you get online, or be on webinars, or maybe involved in your the communities that you live in. Try to be a part or member through that.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am, point to noted. Childhood traumas create deep-rooted fear and manifest in the form of abandonment issues and insecurities. What, according to you, is the practical approach apart from the holistic one?
Right. So, as a parent, we are always very protective about our children. We would not want them to go through any kind of traumas or any kind of long-standing fears or, feelings or distress. But there are a lot of times that things are not in our control, right? We cannot control everything around our children.
Yeah.
We cannot be, the children cannot be put under surveillance all the time. So if at all a child goes through a trauma or a long-standing distress, try to let them talk about it. Try to hear them out. Try to hear their version of trauma rather than just reacting. Because every child would react differently to the trauma that they are facing. So there would be some children would withdraw, some children would be thinking about it alone, some children would show anxiety features, and some children might just show physical features as well, physical symptoms like headaches or stomach aches or lack of sleep. So reassure your child that the event is over and they can talk about it. Listen to your child, listen to their version of child before you start to react to the event. Let your child know that you are ready to hear about the events in their version. Tell your child exactly what happened and how supportive you are about the whole event. Make sure that they are not jumping onto any wrong conclusions about the whole event. Talk about it as a family. Do not disrupt your family routines. Be in the same routine. Don't change the whole family routine because something has happened in the family. Try to make it as normal as it was before the trauma. Try that your child is playing more, being active more. They are giving time to play and activities. They are enjoying what they are doing or doing what they enjoy, right? And also understand that they would at this time need more attention. They would at this time need more of you. They might become more clingy. So don't get irritated with that feeling that they're always, wanting you around. Or remember that, every child would react differently in their trauma, in similar traumas as well. So don't compare them with other children or even siblings. So give them a safe space to talk it out without giving your reaction too early into the whole situation.
Okay. Ma'am, the next question is, stigma around mental illness, including depression, remains a major barrier for seeking help from family, friends, and professionals. Is there a way through which the family can recognize the struggle their family members is going through?
Right. So first and foremost is being aware of what mental health is. What all symptoms can be included into mental health. Not just emotional symptoms, but be aware of the physical symptoms as well, right? And do not just come up to conclusions of going to see a physical doctor or a physician rather than giving away the idea that do not go and see a psychiatrist. So do not increase the stigma around as a person, as a family member, and also try to note down the changes in the behavior or their physical appearance or their energy levels or their sleep patterns or the way they are behaving in the family. Has that changed from time to time? Has it changed? So be aware of their basic nature as well as the change that they are going through, right?
Yeah.
So that would increase more awareness that, okay, you are noticing the change that the family member is going through. That would bring in the observation and the empathy that you're having towards the family member. And also do not increase the stigma. Be supportive of the illness that they are going through. Be there to listen to them, hear them out, and don't jump to a conclusion about whether it is a mental illness or not. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Over the million of people lost their loved ones during this pandemic, but loss of a loved one is not just today's story. Apart from that, people are seen facing problem due to love situation and so also like a relationship issues and all. I don't know what kind of love it is when people just feel anxiety, depression, and all these things rather than feeling the love, that real feeling of love. How do you think people should keep themselves calm and care for their mental health in this time of grief?
So grief can be anything. It's not about just death. So grief can be about losing an organ, body part. Grief can be about losing a loved one. Grief can be about losing a job. Grief can be about losing a relationship also, right? So first and foremost is knowing that your feelings are valid. You're not feeling sad for no reason. That your feelings are, you're not wrong in experiencing sadness. You're not wrong in experiencing hurt, right? Second would be understand that the loss, sudden loss can be shocking. It can be difficult to comprehend with. It can cause you biological or physical symptoms or anxiety or sadness, right? Use the mantra that there are things which are not under my control. Try to use this mantra that there are certain things which are not in my control, and let go of the things that are not in your control. Try to let go of feelings of controlling everything around you. Because when you have this feeling that I'm everything is under my control, the feeling of guilt starts to get into you once things are not in your control or something like this happens. So try not to let the guilt also set in too much. What if I would have done this, or what if I would have taken care more in a more precise way? What if I would have not gone somewhere, or things like these questions arise a lot when you're going through grief. So these are feelings of guilt, these are feelings of doing something better, or I could have done something better. Then also let this healing process take its own time. Do not rush things. Do not want to get over the feeling of grief in a day.
Yes.
Or do not let this feeling go in a rush situation. Don't overwhelm yourself that, okay, let me get busy with work, then I'll be okay, or let me get busy with something else, then I'll be okay. Give yourself that time to heal through this process, because it's a process. It's not a one day matter. So give yourself that time, but also make a note that you're not getting overwhelmed with the whole situation, that you're not grieving for years, or you're not grieving too long, or most of the time in the day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And acceptance is also very important.
Right.
And as we say, time heals everything. With this, we come to our last question. What is your message to people on the reoccurring mental health issues?
So first and foremost is that we need to understand that reoccurrence can happen. A lot of times we would meet clients who would ask us that, will once I recover, will this happen again? So we don't ask this question to a physician when you are suffering from fever. We don't ask them that the fever will happen again or not, because we are certain it might happen one, ever in our lifetime again. So that's the same with mental illness. It totally depends on the risk factors that we have around us. So it can be, stressful life events. It can be work life stress. It can be maybe a medical condition. So understand that if you want to avoid reoccurrence, if you want to prevent reoccurrence, try to know the risk factors around that mental health issue. Also know the early warning signs in yourself, or the care, or the family member that you're talking about. So know the warning signs that the sleep would be disturbed, or maybe there would be sadness, or there would be change in their talking to other people or social life. So know the warning signs. Third would be taking help as soon as it is possible. Do not delay. Do not wait for getting overwhelmed with the whole situation, or do not wait for a breakdown to happen to go to a mental health profession. Also, this happens when we have a stigma around the mental health issue. So break the stigma, take help as soon as you can, and there is no harm in taking help, or there is no stigma that is there in taking mental health help. So break the myths around the mental health conditions. Try to be more aware, try to know the symptoms, try to know about the mental health conditions, and that would reduce the risk of reoccurrence.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot for such a great piece of advice, and thank you for your time on such an important day. We hope that we spread a positive message throughout this video. Keep following us and subscribe on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, and Co. And visit our website, www.medicallyspeaking.in for more such important updates. Thank you for watching.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.